Well, hello. Welcome to another edition of Is This Thing On? I'm Doug Lee, your temporary host for this episode. And this may be the last episode in the old studio. And we are moving to a new studio that is actually on the Mitsu campus. So joining me today, we are privileged to have Richard Butz with us. And Richard, thank you for being here.
You bet. I was excited that you asked.
Yeah, we're looking forward to getting to know you a little bit better and talking some Vern Eide things and finding out a little bit more about you. So let's just go for it. So Richard, where did you grow up? I guess we'll start there. And the bigger question is, how did you actually end up at Vern Eide at some point?
Okay. Well, I'm a PK, preacher's kid. So moved around quite a bit. Was actually born in Grand Forks, North Dakota.
Okay.
And moved from there when I was 4 to Rapid City. Lived in Rapid City for 4 years. Moved the year after the big Rapid City flood in 1973. And then was in Sioux Falls for 6 years. Then went to Aberdeen. Was in Aberdeen for 3 years and started my freshman year of college at Northern State in Aberdeen. Then my parents moved back to Sioux Falls. And so then after that, I decided to transfer down to the U and then finished up 3 years at the university. So that was down at Vermilion. And then came back to Sioux Falls, got married, and then Sioux Falls became my home for the rest of my life except about 4 years.
Okay. Wow.
So, and then how did I come to Vern Eide? Well, when I graduated in 84 from USD, major in accounting, business administration, started to work public accounting firm for a couple years, then did some different things. I worked for Valley National Banks back in the day when it was owned by by Erling Haugo. And he had Valley National Banks here in Sioux Falls, and then he had the Exchange Banks in Lenox and T. Interesting old guy. He was 90 years old when I was working for him, and he was still coming in every day, but eventually he decided to sell. Sold to Carl Polad, owner of the Twins at that time.
Oh, wow.
So then it became Marquette Banks.
Yep.
So did some banking for a while. I worked for Mack Trucks for a while. And also worked for a medical clinic for a while. And then I was a little restless with accounting. I'd been in it several years. Somehow it wasn't doing for me what I wanted, so I tried sales. And I was selling for Northwestern Mutual Life for about a year.
Okay. Yep.
Selling life insurance, and decided this wasn't my gig either. And thought, I always enjoyed Hondas. I always enjoyed cars. So I came over and talked to Gordy Meeker, and he hired me. And so then I started working at Vern Eide back in 1992.
Oh, wow.
And came to work for Vern Eide in the sales. And so I was working with Jim. We called him Big Red at that time. And Gordy. And then John Conlon was there, and Gail Haybeck, and Gene Olson and I were sales buddies. We shared an office.
Okay.
So
that would have been
92, 93.
The Minnesota Avenue.
Minnesota
store,
Avenue. Yep.
22nd Street.
Yep.
Or so.
And Vicky Beach was working there at the time, and we had the Honda walk-around competition. You walk potential customer around the car and sell them on the reasons you should buy a car.
Sure.
And there were a number of us, all of us were competing, and Vicky was the judge. And we all said, okay, this will be interesting. Vicky will be a challenging customer. But I remember walking her around.
That was the training.
She was the judge.
Oh.
She was the judge. So the winner of that was going to go on to Rapid City. And
okay.
So I ended up winning it. And Vicky, and they'd tell you a little bit about what the customer was like. And Vicky was a customer who was really interested in safety. Remember that. So I was just laying it thick with Vicki. And she said, oh, yeah, you did a great job. She said, I'm really secure in that Accord. It was just kind of fun.
Huh.
And so then Vern bought me a 3-piece suit, and I went out to Rapid City, and then I won that. And then they sent me out to Portland, Oregon to compete, and then I didn't place there.
Okay.
But that was my introduction to Vern.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then, why did I leave? Because I'm on my second tour with Vern,
Okay.
as many of us are, second or more. But you had asked kind of a funny story about Ann. And so Ann and I were married at the time that I was working at Vern. And we had 2 little boys. They were, I think, 5 and 3 at the time. And so I was working at Vern doing sales. Sometimes I'd come home late, in the evenings, because that's the way it works when you're in sales.
Sure. Yeah.
And one particular evening, I remember I was working with a client, and it was late, and I got home, and I remember it was dark. It was wintertime. And came inside the house, and at that time, Ann's brother, Dave, was visiting us. Single guy who liked to travel a lot, that type of thing. But I walked in, it was supper time. The boys and Dave and Ann are at the table, and come on in, sit down, have supper. And it wasn't, I hadn't been there 5 minutes. And Ann looked at me in the eye, and she said, Richard, the boys and I are moving to Hawaii. Would you like to come? And we had been married about 10 plus years at that time. And she was dead serious. And her brother Dave looked at me and says, Rich, that would be a great idea. You should do this. And I was like, Dave, stay out of this. This is not your conversation. But of course, I did. We moved to Hawaii. But then I had to come in and tell Gordy and Jim that I'm going to be leaving Vern, moving to Hawaii.
All
and so that ended my first tour.
Okay.
I was, with Vern a few more months after that, but then left. And then, as I said, we've lived in Sioux Falls most of our life, but then we moved to Hawaii.
Wow.
That's
a change.
Yeah, it was a little bit about what Ann was like. You asked about some things about Ann, and she loved spontaneity. She loved to have fun. And so we moved to Hawaii, Hilo, the Big Island.
Oh, yeah.
And lived there for a couple years.
Amazing.
Something that always be thankful for. It was an amazing experience.
Oh, I bet.
So we lived there for 2 years.
2 years, okay.
And then came back. Came back to Del Rapids, lived there a couple years.
That was probably a bigger change.
And then, and then to Sioux Falls. Yeah, people would ask us, why did you move back?
I bet.
Yeah.
So what were you guys doing in Hawaii then?
In Hawaii, well, Ann was a registered nurse.
Okay.
And her sister lived in Hawaii, had at that time been in Hawaii for 20 years. And her sister just recently had a second child. Her husband walked out and was feeling she wanted to go help her sister. And so that's kind of why we moved. That was attracting Ann. But I was uneasy about it. Being an accountant, tend to be conservative, like, what are we going to do for jobs? Where are we going to live? How's this all going to work financially? But one of the things I knew that was going on was that Hawaii was screaming for nurses.
Okay.
And so I knew Ann would have a job right away.
Sure.
And Ann worked in maternal child health, and she found a job there at the hospital.
Oh, so there wasn't a job before you moved?
Before we knew,
Oh, wow.
no, nothing before we moved. But I felt comfortable because I looked at, I realized Hawaii needed nurses. I knew Ann was a great nurse, and she'd find a position right away. So we moved over there and lived in Hilo. It was 9 months I was Mr. Mom.
Sure.
Taking the boys to school, doing some different things. And
That's
then,
all right.
then I found
That's good.
a job back in accounting, working for a firm called Mauna Kea Electric. We installed the overhead power poles for power lines. And Mauna Kea meaning mountain white, because in Hawaii, in Hilo, Mauna Kea is one of the volcanoes, and 10 months out of the year, 11 months out of the year, you look and it's covered with snow.
Yeah, I've been to the summit up there,
Yeah.
to the observatory.
Yeah, where they
Yeah.
have the telescopes because it's so dark
Oh.
at night.
Yeah, good.
Hawaii's so dark that in the morning you get up, you want to go for a walk or something. There's no street lights in the rural area. You can't see in the hand in front of your face. It's so dark there. But anyway, so then I did accounting work for
Okay.
a construction company, Mauna Kea Electric, out there. And then she worked as a nurse. We lived in a condominium right on the beach called Mauna Loa Shores.
Wow.
In fact, when I stepped out on my deck, I could have taken a baseball and thrown it, and I would have hit a little lagoon that the ocean water was coming into.
Amazing. Did
So,
you travel around? Did you get to see some of the other islands? And
while we were there, the only time that I went over to another island was Oahu. Ann and I went over there for her birthday. We went to see Phantom of the Opera. So we flew over there to Honolulu and saw Phantom of the Opera and spent a couple nights and then came back. But our boys were young and they were in school, so we didn't go around to the islands. We were really enjoying Hawaii and the beaches and everything, and just didn't feel a need to go find a lot of other things. And her sister was there, and our boys were got involved with soccer and other people there. So no, we didn't really do that much.
Yeah, I'm sure that 2 years went
Went really
incredibly fast.
Yeah.
Especially if you're both working
Yep.
and raising two boys.
Yeah, it went really fast. It was awesome.
Yeah. Well, wow. So came back, and then did you approach Vernighty, or did they approach you for the second tour?
Actually, when I came back, I was considering going back to Vernighty, but then we did move back to Del Rapids when we came back. I learned of an accounting position with a firm in town called Building Sprinkler. We installed fire sprinkler systems. In fact, that's who Vernighty uses, is Building Sprinkler for our fire protection systems. And they offered me a position back into accounting. And so then, and because I had experience with construction in Hawaii, it was helpful in working into Building Sprinkler, which was a construction company, a subcontractor, specialty subcontractor. So then I started working for them, and I was with Building Sprinkler for 17 years. And then 2012 is when I left Building Sprinkler, and that's when I came to Vernighty again here now for my second tour.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So describe, for those of us who don't know what you do on a day-to-day basis, kind of what a typical day is like.
Well, I do accounting, and Vernighty, as you know, is involved in many different things. I think we have over 30 different tax ID numbers under the Vernighty umbrella.
Simple, right?
So, I get involved with the car companies and financial reporting, not only to the manufacturers, but also the different programs like we have, like the Vernighty Tire Program. We figure, we fund that program, and then there's expenses to that program, and people like Mr. Lake want to see how it's doing. So things like that, the tire program or ID Advantage, those are little programs that Vernighty has that you won't see in a financial statement anywhere. And so I get involved with a number of different things like that.
Sure.
And do monthly reporting on it as to how we're doing. ID Care Gold is another one. It's hugely successful, but there's a lot of time involved in keeping track of how is that going. What type of progress are we making?
Right.
So a lot of detail work,
Sure.
a lot
Tracking
of number
those
crunching,
numbers.
a lot of spreadsheets. The IT guys laughed. They said, "Oh yeah, Richard's got it over 1,000 spreadsheets. He's just some spreadsheets all day."
I can't imagine, Richard.
And I am.
I can't imagine. I have enough trouble doing my own books, as a business owner, one set of books, and I can't even do it. So I have a bookkeeper to do
Yeah.
it. So I can't imagine how you keep everything straight, everything going.
Well, that's kind of all the
You have a
people up in the
special skill and talent to do it.
Well, the people that are up in accounting, they kind of all multitask into different areas. That's not uncommon and expected to do. So I work with the car stores. Then I work with VVI with their financial statements, also with UDrive, and then, of course, with the marine store as well. And just recently starting to get involved with Motoplex a little bit, too.
Oh, wow.
So you get involved in all the different stores and all the different locations. About the only thing I don't do anything with is Sturgis, Indian Motorcycle
Okay.
Sturgis. They're separate, so April's does the accounting out there. But otherwise, get involved in all kinds of different things, which makes it really interesting. Learn a lot.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
So tell me about the difference between like first time you were for an EideCast and like in terms of culture and maybe now. Is there any difference? Have you seen things grow and change?
Yes, it's quite a bit different. I think the main thing, Doug, is that we've grown so much. There's just so many more entities and people and locations, and so I definitely see, I see that there is a need. I think when the first time that I was with Vern, it was small enough that I don't know that necessarily culture, and I don't even think I had heard that word first time working with Vern. It wasn't something that was talked about, and perhaps we were small enough that it wasn't something that necessarily needed to be focused on so much. But
we were just talking to Bruce, and so did you work with Bruce? Was he at the Minnesota store when you were there?
I don't think that he was. I don't think I met Bruce until I came back in 12.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, when I was there, we were just smaller, and it just seemed like you were mixing with other people all the time, and there wasn't necessarily a need to focus on that.
Yep.
Now, as we've grown a lot, I think that our energies invested in improving the culture of Vern is really worthwhile. It helps people to think about how to get along with each other as a team, and that we all, thrive if we do so.
Sure.
And so I think that culture has changed in the fact that it's now become a focus and realization of how important it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let's move to a little different direction in terms of your interests, and I know that you definitely enjoy the outdoors. Had a boat, or still don't have a boat anymore, though, right?
Don't have a boat anymore.
Like the lake life, love to be outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing to do?
You asked about a boat. I've been boating since middle school.
Oh, wow.
I helped my dad. He said, Richard, well, if you want to get this boat, he said, we can do this, but you need to invest some money into it. And I had paper route money. And I remember back in middle school, I think I had like $400. And I invested in the boat that we bought.
Oh, really?
And
That's
so,
fantastic.
boating has been a part of my life.
So you grew up water skiing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Learned to water ski when I was in 4th grade.
Nice.
Water skiing has been one of my passions. Absolutely love it.
You barefoot?
No, I've
Okay.
never tried to barefoot. At this point in my life, I will not.
Yeah.
But I love to slalom ski, and
Slalom skiing,
that's a lot of fun. A buddy and myself, we didn't know what we were doing, but we thought, how do you do the pyramid type thing? And so we were both on 2 skis, and pretty soon I let go of both my skis, and I jumped on the back of his skis, and I was trying to climb up his back. We were both laughing so hard we just fell over, and then we didn't try it again. But anyway, I love to water ski. Yes, I had a boat up until last year. Had knee surgery a year ago. I knew I was going to have a total knee. Realized I probably wouldn't be using the boat for a while. Also, with Anne moving on to an Alzheimer's unit, I had tried boating for a couple seasons without her. It didn't seem right. It just didn't feel right. So that, plus knowing that I was going to have the knee surgery, so I got rid of the boat.
Sure.
I already miss it. But with my knee, I haven't been doing skiing, but I'd love to get back into water skiing. It's one of my favorite things to do. But in addition to that, bike riding. I love to bike ride. It's just something that I find very relaxing.
Like road bike?
Yeah,
On
road
a
bike. Not
bike
motor-
trail mostly, or do you go?
Yeah,
other
like the
places?
bike trails around Sioux Falls.
Yeah.
Or going down to Yankton and riding along the river, or
Sure.
the Mickelson Trail. I love riding in the Mickelson out west. And I've done some the Root River Trail over in Minnesota. So I love doing that. That's fun.
Right. You must have a decent bike.
I've got a couple different bikes and just really enjoy doing that. I'm a bowler. Love to bowl. Haven't bowled since my knee surgery. That's giving me a problem, but I'll get
Are you
back.
getting close?
I'll
you
get
think?
well. Actually, no. I had some bad news about my knee, and my knee's going to be redone September 10th. Just set the date yesterday.
Oh no.
So I'm going to have a total revision of my knee. So here we go again.
So sorry.
But eventually I'll get back and do bowling again and bike riding. But yes, I love being outdoors. I love hiking and camping.
Right.
Love tent camping, just being out in the stars and just making it simple.
Yeah.
I love to be outside like that.
Yeah. Fantastic. So what's the best part of your job? Like what gets you up in the morning? Why do you like coming in?
Those things change as you mature, let's say, in your career. But right now, I think what I really enjoy, what is really gratifying, is to be able to feel like you're helping, in my line of work, give information to people to make decisions, and that information's accurate, it's timely, it's consistent. And that's a good feeling, to feel like you're contributing in that way to help make viable business decisions for the company. I really enjoy working with other people and showing them things that I know how to do. And that's very gratifying as well. So those are the things that give me joy about the workplace, is to feel like at the end of the day I did something well, or I helped someone learn how to do something better. Those are the things that are really motivating and helpful right now.
Yeah, great. Is there anything that we don't know about you that would surprise us?
Oh goodness.
Anything we don't know? Any other hobbies you're doing, or any other?
I do. One of the things I also love to do, I haven't done a lot of it lately, is sing. I used to do a lot of karaoke singing. Now the voice isn't what it was, but I still love to sing, and that's fun.
Sure.
No, I don't think anything in particular. I did take a trip to Spain and Portugal one time. This was way back when. It was all expenses paid by the Argus Leader and Parade Magazine and TWA Airlines. Back then it was called the Young Columbus Competition through the Argus Leader. And if you carried Parade Magazine, then they would send someone on a Young Columbus award every year, and I won it. It was a finalist 2 years, and the third year I finally got it, and went to Spain and Portugal.
Oh,
and that was kind of a neat deal. Went there for 2 weeks and ate seaweed soup, and
nice.
Yeah, it was different.
Do you think all of the traveling and moving as a young person just kind of gave you the desire to do that more?
Wanderlust type of thing?
Maybe a little bit. I don't know.
I think maybe.
Yeah.
I have 3 siblings, and they all traveled quite a bit.
Might be
I
something to
think
that.
maybe there was some of that. My dad, he did quite a bit of mission work, and he traveled quite a bit. In fact, he wasn't even in the country when I was born. My oldest brother took my mom to the hospital. My dad was in England on a mission trip. Yeah, I think maybe that instilled in me that traveling's fun and hearing about different things. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I do enjoy traveling. Yeah, I do.
All right, last question. Are you a movie guy? Books, music? What's your kind of relaxation or
Relaxation,
enjoyment?
something that can make me feel really good, even if I'm having a bad day, is music.
Mm.
Yeah.
And what kind?
Music is fantastic. Oh, I love contemporary. Well, it wouldn't be considered contemporary today, but like Billy Joel or Elton John
Okay.
or the Doobies or something like that, back from the 70s and 80s. So
Oh, yeah.
not necessarily contemporary today, but put something on like that and I can listen to it and instantly I feel happier and feel in a better mood. So yeah, music is definitely my go-to.
All right. Well, I think we could probably keep talking for another half an hour, but we gotta wrap this one up.
Okay.
I appreciate you joining and coming on the show.
Thank you.
And we will be back with another episode, and it will probably be Mary that will be back in the host chair. So thanks again, Richard,
You bet.
and we'll see you next time.
Okay.